So, what did you have the best time doing during your childhood?
What part of my childhood? Like, what's the segment we're talking about here?
Up until being a teenager.
Up until being a teenager? Well, I always enjoyed being with my friends the most, obviously. But there's like I was never the type of kid who just had one thing that they liked best. Even now, if someone asks me what my favorite movie or favorite book is, I can't answer. I don't have like favorites. I loved playing the piano. That was my favorite thing to do on my own if I wasn't reading. I loved being outside. Um, I love climbing trees and building forts and getting dirty. Um, those were like the main things. Yeah.
What values did your parents try to teach you when you were in that age?
My parents are they're a little more lenient now, but at the time they were really very strictly religious. So pretty much everything that you would consider to be like a quote unquote Christian value, that's what I was brought up in. So yeah, like all of the sort of being kind to people and taking care of people better than taking care of yourself, and always being patient and all that good kind of Christian value stuff.
How have those changed? How much of those do you still live by?
It's funny actually. I don't believe in God. I'm not a Christian myself. And oh, hang on a second. I'm sorry. Turn that off. I apologize. I still, most of it actually, I live by all of that just without the faith in a higher power, being, creator kind of thing. So I still believe very strongly in being kind to people. I think empathy is the most important thing that anyone can ever work on in themselves more than anything else. Yeah.
What did you want to do when you grew up?
When I was a kid, I wanted. The only thing that I can say for sure I definitely wanted was to become a writer. Ever since fourth grade. Excuse me. Excuse me. Ever since fourth grade, I wanted to be a writer, and yeah, there were other things that came and went, but that never went away.
Alright, so can you define the American dream just in general? Not for you, but just as a concept.
As a concept, yeah, it's funny, I was thinking about this the other day. The American dream, I think, is different now than it was. I think, and it, to me, is very important to clearly define the difference between what it was originally when we coined the phrase "the American dream" and what it is today. I think I personally prefer the more original meaning of it, which was, in my opinion, the American dream was that anybody, no matter what they were born into, could make a life for themselves that they would be happy with, that would provide them with the means to survive happily, to have a home, or to have, food and clothing and warmth and all of those essential things without, with hard work, but without, the struggle that so many people had known before. Um, and to be free to have whatever religion or have whatever perspective they wanted within that. I think that's what the American dream was. The pursuit of happiness. I don't think that was the pursuit of fame and fortune. I think that was the pursuit of fulfillment in your day-to-day life. These days, I feel like the American dream embodies something entirely different. It's all about making a ton of money without having to put a lot of work into it, possibly fame, a whole bunch of other things that, celebrity, whatever. But, there you go.
So, how do you think it matches with your values?
The original American dream matches very strongly with my values. It's still, the original American dream still requires a person to be out there for number one first. To go out there and get what you can get. I think that people still felt as though they should treat each other well, but also that they should be aggressive and get what they wanted out of life. which is a little bit. I struggle a bit with that because to me, I'm always thinking from back when I was a kid, you know, oh, I could go out there and take that, but then somebody else might be worse off if I do that, so maybe I'll hang back. I think, yeah, Christian values don't really encourage people to be particularly aggressive in getting what they want out of life. That's one thing that really, they don't really encourage.
Do you think the American dream can be achieved? Can you ever say, I'm living it right now?
If we're talking about the original American dream, the one that I think is the more accurate idea of what the American dream could and should be, then in theory, yeah, I'm living it right now because I'm employed. I'm not wanting for anything. My family is healthy and happy. We have hobbies. We have the means to do the things that we like to do. I would say, according to the original version, yeah, we're actually all of us in my family are living the American dream.
If you weren't living it, how far would you be willing to achieve it? How far would you be willing to go to get it?
I'd be willing to go, well, I've been a mother for a very, very long time. So my perspective is always skewed by that. To provide for my children, I'd be willing to do anything, absolutely anything that life required of me to make sure that they could live happily and safely and healthily. For myself, I'm not sure. I don't know how far I'd be willing to go to pursue that and force that into being. I think it's easier to do that when you've got other people that you're doing it for.
Mm-hmm. What would your parents think of the American dream that you're living today?
I know my parents, like myself and like most other parents, they want first and foremost for me to feel happy and satisfied with the life that I have. That's all they really want. That's all I want for my kids. That's all they really want for me. So I think that they would say, as long as I could sit here and say that I'm happy and satisfied in my life, that they would be content with that.
What do you think the limits are to the American dream?
Well, I think the American dream is limitless if every American is prepared to exercise empathy for one another, which clearly we are not willing to do as a country. That is something that we just do not appear to be capable of doing. I'm not sure there are many countries that are, because that's asking a lot of every single person. I really feel as though if people aren't willing to care for one another, then you're always going to find that people get left behind, or people get taken from, or people get victimized, or whatever, because you're always going to get some people who are more aggressive, who will just go out and take something not caring about how it affects someone else. And that other person then is left with less and has to work harder if they want to get something. And, it's tough to get however many people are in our country, 600 million, to get that many people to work together. It's really not feasible, in my opinion. So we do the best we can, I guess.
If someone wanted to achieve the dream, how would you advise them to do it?
I would say, it's funny, at work a few months ago, I heard a customer say something, and it really stuck with me, more than most things that I hear. And, she was talking with her friend, and her friend said something about life having problems, and she was like, life is problems, and I'm sitting there trying not to correct their grammar, and I'm like, And the lady said, there's nothing really you can do about it, except for do something different from the last time when you screwed up. And I thought that's kind of funny. At first it sounds like a negative statement, but actually it's a very true statement. I would advise anybody, just keep trying to get the things that you need, get the things that you want, and if it's not working, then do something different the next time. Don't do the same thing you did when you screwed up. Learn from it, basically, and keep going. And because that's all anyone can do. There's no formula for success at all. not a single book that's been written could tell you how to do it. All you can do is just keep working at it and learn from your past mistakes.
We have one bonus